I had the strangest experience over and over and over again in my spiritual journey where I'd be feeling really good and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, not so good. And I could never really quite figure out what it was that was the way you could maintain that course, maintain that focus. So what I want to share with you guys in this video is about grounding, but I'm not talking about earthing or like what you've probably heard about people walking around barefoot on the ground or hugging trees, though you'll see in this conversation the correlation. That's not really what I'm talking about. We're talking about vibrational grounding because all around us, we live in a vibrational world. You know this. I seriously doubt you'd be here if you didn't have that awareness. And there's so many vibrations around us, and there's so many other people to interact with, and so many other conversations and emotions and energy constantly coming up in our reality. So many opportunities to kind of give our attention and focus and energy to other areas. You know, think of even like watching a TV show. After like watching a TV show and going through all of it, you notice how that affects your vibration, how even in your mind, you're kind of tossing back and forth what you watched in the show and the characters, and you feel connected to some of the drama. And so what I want to share with you in this video is what I've learned most recently about how you can ground yourself in the vibration that is actually like your highest alignment, best course for yourself, and not constantly be falling off track into other courses, other trails that are somebody else's trail and yours is over there, but you're on someone else's. And this has really made all the difference in my life. So this is one of those videos for my friends who, you know, I have different styles of videos. This is one of the, hi, I'm Nathan. I've gone through some issues in my life. Here's what I've learned, and I'm doing really well right now because of it. That's this video. So more recently, I've been doing extremely well. Best I've ever done, to be perfectly honest. And what's cool is it keeps getting better and better. But I've had a few moments where it felt like it was tugging me back into not feeling so good. And what's interesting is that that's happened to me before. I had a few times in my spiritual awakening journey where I was like, oh, I'm enlightened in the sense that like, oh, I've got it figured out. I feel so good. I'm going to feel this way forever. And then I would end up somewhere else and I'd be wondering what the hell happened. And then a lot of times I'd spiral into this negativity and dark night of the soul, more shadow work. So what's the difference now? Well, the difference now is that for me, I've been able to tune into my inner being and the broader perspective of myself. Not going to get into that too much. I'm just going to share with you what I've learned, and I have a good feeling you're going to see the value of it for yourself, and that this really has the potential to help you too. So there's this broader perspective always kind of constantly going on. It's kind of like the stage is set, you know, like this is the scene where I go out and I make a video. So right now in my reality, I'm focused on this conversation about vibrational grounding and I'm making this video. But simultaneously in the background, there's this broader perspective part of me that's saying, this is the scene, as if life is an infinite stage and I'm an improv actor and I decide what the show is. It is what it is. I say, at the broader perspective, this is the scene where there's this incredible energy and flow coming through me. This is the scene where this inspiration that came to me as an impulse just 5 minutes ago to make this video, boom, here it is. And I'm letting it rip through, and this is going to be an incredible video. So there's always this part of you that's saying what it is that's going on. You're telling a story. You have a certain expectation. Now, what I'd like to share with you quickly, so that you understand the connection here and where this is going, let's go ahead and say you're feeling really high vibe and you're feeling incredible and things are going really, really well. Then a few things happen and you start feeling not so good. You know, whatever it is, maybe you didn't sleep, so you just genuinely don't feel very good. Maybe something happened at work or in a relationship, whatever, and so it's bothering you and bringing you down. Well, understand that what I've done for myself right now is I've grounded myself in the vibration of appreciation. That's what I've done. This video is not pushing you to do the same grounding as me. I'll get into what I would suggest to tune into yourself, what'll work best for you in a moment. But for me, I've grounded myself in the vibration of appreciation, in the vibration and the broader perspective constantly that I'm saying. I'm constantly setting the stage. I'm constantly saying that this life is incredible. This is amazing. I am filled with so much joy and so many incredible things happening. So guess what happens when some things happen that aren't so good, that might bring me down? Well, I might not feel good. And that has happened multiple times since over the last few months when I've really been in this incredible positive momentum. But what's interesting is the difference is that when I don't feel well, instead of starting to panic, which I can see clearly what I used to say, the story I used to tell when I started not feeling well was, oh God, what happened? What happened to my good vibe? Where'd it go? And I was essentially saying, this is the scene where I fall into panic and I'm going to go through a few weeks of a hard time and I'm going to be trying to figure out what happened to my inspiration, what happened to my high vibe connection. So that's the story I was telling. Whenever I didn't feel well, I'd tell the story. This is a problem. What happened? Where'd my good feeling go? Where's my abundance? How do I fix this? This is the scene where I frantically try to figure out what went wrong. And so it is, because it's my life and I say what the show is, you see? So now I'm grounded in the vibration of appreciation. And I'm constantly telling that story, no matter what happens. So if I don't feel well, now the story I say is, this is the scene where I appreciate that I don't feel well. This is the scene where I appreciate that today I'm a little bit off, that things didn't quite go how I wanted them to go. And for me, the reason I'm able to do this is because I personally have discovered for myself in my journey that all the things that happen that I don't like actually are really good things happening for me. And these things that happen that I don't prefer actually cause me to know deeper and deeper who I am and what I do prefer. And it's all part of this expansive journey of the most magnificent unfolding of myself. That's not what this video is about. So we're not going there. But that's where I get this from. That's why I have this ability unlocked to do this, is because I know for myself that everything that happens actually is really good, and it's part of my expansion, and it's part of, oh, lightning. That's a huge surprise. He was up in the house. Right now I'm in the river. I live up in this house up here in Sedona. I'm down in the river, and here's lightning. Some of you may have noticed I've got this cute little puppy strapped to me. This is Spring. She just came into our lives yesterday. And when I looked in her eyes, there was no decision that needed to be made. It was already done. So here she is. Okay, so continuing on. It's good to see you, Lightning. Very nice to have you here. So essentially, this is the importance of grounding yourself in the vibration of your choosing. What happens for so many of us is there's so much noise in life. And I used to be feeling really good. Here's a hilarious example, okay? I used to be feeling really good, like maybe 2 years ago or so. I'll just pick a random period of time where I was super high vibing and talking about all this crazy stuff in my videos. People were loving it. I was loving it. And then someone would come along and they'd post something with a really heavy energy in my comment section and say, remember to stay grounded. You're too ungrounded. And what was hilarious is I would feel like negative emotion towards that comment. I'd be like, why are they saying that to me? Why are people having to judge each other? Why can't they just let me be? Why, what is this about? Now, the hilarious thing is that because I started focusing and I basically allowed their vibration and what they were putting out to pull me into it, I was ungrounded because I suddenly was sucked into their vibrational reality, and that pulled me off my course of what was my real choice, was to be high vibing and feeling so good and doing what I love and loving what I'm expressing about. So here's the idea. If you are super, super high up there, super crown chakra energy, here's a funny example. Some people might say to you, you're not grounded, but that's not true. You are grounded. You're grounded in a high vibration of the crown chakra, okay? That's what you're grounded in. That's your reality. So being grounded, vibrationally speaking, is being really positioned in a certain dynamic frequency. Now, what's a better way we can say this? It's you constantly saying in the background the story of your life and what's happening for you. You're saying, this story of my life right now, this is the time. A bunch of you are doing this right now with me. We're aligning. Law of attraction's brought us together. It's awesome. We're on this wave right now that says everything's getting better and better and better, and I'm unlocking more and more of my power, and everything's getting incredible, and I'm tuning into source and my inner being. And this is the story we're telling. And do you notice how the story that we're telling is what keeps happening? That is what keeps expanding, and it keeps becoming true and true and true? Well, what I've learned is that whatever you ground yourself in, it becomes real. So when you're ungrounded, all that really means, it doesn't mean you're not walking around barefoot enough. That's a different kind of grounding. What we're really referring to when we say that we're ungrounded is that you're not positioned well enough in the story that you're telling about life. And so you let the noise of other people or other situations or things not going the way you want them to pull you out of what you would prefer to be experiencing, and you start letting other things influence the story you're telling. Someone says, "Oh, are you okay? You seem like you're really going through something." And in your reality, you were absolutely fine. But then you start wondering, well, what does it seem like there's something wrong with me? Am I putting out a weird vibe? What's going on? Boom, you're ungrounded because you've just stepped out of your vibrational reality of feeling really good to step into the vibrational reality of now you're telling a story of, is there something wrong with me? And then many people get sucked into it. And that's why we start spiraling into negativity again. So if you've ever wondered why you've had these periods of time in your spiritual awakening journey where you just felt amazing, and then out of nowhere, it feels like you get sucked into all this crap and it just bums you out, understand this. Don't be bummed out about it. It's okay, because the moment that you're sucked into something else, you can just acknowledge, oh, this isn't actually what I prefer, and then start telling the story that is the grounded vibration you want. Like me. This is what I'm doing, the grounded and appreciation. When something happens that I don't want, or if I have a few off days, or I don't get some sleep, or something doesn't go the way I want it to, instead of starting to panic and thinking, oh God, or letting the billboards on the side of the road tell me what I want to eat for dinner, I already know what I'm eating. I know what I want. I've done the work. I've had enough experiences in my life of things I didn't prefer to know deeply what it is that I do want. And that is one of the leading factors that I have a laser focus. And your focus is so powerful. You see, I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. And so I'm able to constantly be telling the story that that is what's happening. That's where I'm at. That's what's happening in my life. So no matter what happens externally, I don't allow that to pull me into it and start telling a different story, because I am firmly telling the story that I want to be experiencing. And that's why it happens. And that's what this entire conversation about vibrational grounding is all about. Let me give you another example. I vibrationally grounded myself in the story that my financial situation is consistently, constantly improving, more and more. And I've been experiencing that. I've been seeing it in the most incredible ways. Seriously, how powerful we are. God, it's good to be here. We are awesome. I love being human. We've literally got the power of God at our fingertips. Source literally emanates from us in every moment. And this is what's so cool. I was telling that story. So one day I log into my bank account while we're grocery shopping, Ruby and I, because she's got like $100 worth of snacks and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, well, let's check and see. Do we have enough for this? And I log in and I see we don't. We don't right now. So here's the thing that happens. What a lot of people do is they'll immediately, even though they were attracting more abundance and more money, they'll freak out and go, oh my God, where's the money? Well, then why isn't it here? But understand that that's you allowing your vibration to not be grounded in what you want. Now you're sucking yourself over into a reality you don't want, where you're telling the story that it's not working. Where's my money? Where's my abundance? What's happening? Why can't I afford these things? So the real trick is actually no trick at all. It's just to stay grounded in the story that you prefer. So you see that there's nothing in your bank account to get it, and you say, oh, all right, just the way it is right now. But I'm still telling that same story that more and more is coming to me. And this moment right now, where I don't have enough to get what I want, is a powerful part of all of the amounts that are on their way to me right now. Because I can feel them. I know they're here. I don't need to see that number in my bank account to know that it's real, because I feel it constantly. And it's already mine and it's already done. So this is how you stay vibrationally grounded. Realize right now in this moment that you are always telling a story about something. A lot of you have been so nice, and I love it a lot. You guys are so uplifting to me, but I'm just using this as another example. A lot of people have been telling me, Nathan, your videos are helping me so much. And I say, no, that's not true. It's true. I get it. It's true. You're right. They are. But what's a deeper fundamental truth is that you're telling the story that when you see a notification for one of my videos pop up, you're telling the background story that this is going to be really good, that this energy in this video is going to feel really good, just like the last one I watched. So you're setting the stage. You're the reason you're experiencing so much positive transformation in this video, because you're telling the story that that's what's happening. But you could just as easily say that, this video doesn't really look interesting to me. It's probably not going to be good. I'll just click it for a second. And guess what? You find in the first 30 seconds it sucks and you click off. Why? It's not because my video fundamentally sucked. It's because that's the story you're telling. So many people are telling the story that they can't follow their dreams, that they can't be happy, that they can't experience expansion and manifestation and abundance and all these incredible things. And you're right, you can't, because you have to tell the story first. You've got to find that vibration within yourself, choose it, and focus it unconditionally. This is where it's important to focus that vibration unconditionally, because if you don't, then you will be swept off course to anything. I heard this quote from someone once. I don't know who it was or who's the person who said it, but they say, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Now that's a little bit intense of a vibration that they're putting out. It's not exactly what I mean, but you see what we're saying? You see the connection there? Know what you want, focus on it, but continuously tell the story that you're moving towards it, no matter what happens. Lots of people out there have other opinions than you, and they know that what they're experiencing is real and scientifically fact. They know it. So don't share what you're telling story with them, because you know that they're not going to receive it. And they're going to try to suck you back into theirs, and they're going to say, are you insane? You can't just feel a vibration within yourself and attract all these things to you. You have to work hard. What are you talking about? And you say, good day to you. You're right. I appreciate the experience you're having. Thanks for sharing that with me. While consistently telling the story in the background that what you're experiencing is that your vibration is bringing these things to you. And you are. That is what's happening, because that's the story you're telling. So see, it all comes back to you. You really are so powerful. You really are so incredible. And I beckon to you, something that I've learned is to stay grounded in the vibration that is your preference. And I can't tell you what that is. That's up to you, your choice. I've discovered for myself, appreciation is the most powerful, because the more I appreciate, and I'm constantly in a state of appreciation, I'm in a state of receival. I'm saying, thank you so much for everything. It's so amazing. No matter what happens, even things that are quote unquote bad, I know that they're good, and I love them, and I hug them, and I receive them. Not because I'm lying to myself, but because that's the story I'm telling. And so it is. And I'm a magnet that is attracting so much incredible things into my life, more and more and more to appreciate. Because whatever you're focused on expands. Because whatever story you tell happens. Because in whatever way you set the stage and throw the props and put the costume on and come out and act that way, that's what you're gonna get. It's always been that simple. Life, it's your stage. It's your stage. You're an improv actor. Who are you? What are you doing? And what is the story of your life? And understand that it doesn't just stop in the ideas that you might have about society and the way that things work. That's a story you're telling too. You're choosing to agree with what other people may have showed you. If you want to keep agreeing with the story you've been telling, keep going. You're grounded in it. That's why you keep experiencing it. The reason so many people experience that they can't do what they love and make a living from it, for example, is because they have such a deep-rooted story within themselves that they can't, that whenever they try and they say, okay, fine, you're right, I'll try, they fail and it doesn't work for them because they don't see it. And it's not because any of you are dumb if you don't see this, it's because right now you're ready to see it. So congratulations. It's because the broader perspective of you is telling the story, okay, this is the scene where I try to do what I love and make money, but I know that it's not actually going to work. And you're surprised why it doesn't work? You've got to figure out for yourself how to tell the story that you want. For me, the best way I've learned to do that is by being aware and noticing all the subtleties of reality and manifestation around me. And I've discovered that I'm connected to anything and everything. And that whatever I think about, I literally start seeing examples of it popping up in my life in the most insane ways. Synchronicity, I'm seeing it all around me, everything, always. So I know that I am the creator of all that is. So if you're like me, I'd recommend just being a little bit more aware, listening more to what's going on. Instead of being lost in your mind about all the conflicts you might be going through, just tune in and pay attention to everything that's going on around you. And if you're anything like me, which I have the fundamental core knowing within myself that we are exactly the same, then you'll see that, wow, you are literally creating everything based on your expectation constantly. If you're planning an event and you're trying to invite people to it and your expectation is that no one's going to come, congratulations. You can clap your hands and know that you were right at the end of it, because you're the one who set the stage for that, you see? So this could just keep going, but I know you get the gist. Got a law of attraction playlist tagged below if you want to learn more about the power of your vibration, and a whole school all about unlocking your highest vibrational self. It's an awesome class. That's tagged below. And that is the fundamental core step-by-step of what I did to get myself to this point where now I can just tell the story the way I want it to. But for a lot of us, we've got to do some work to see that we really are so powerful before we tell the story that we are. And that's what that class is really actually helping people to do. So thanks a lot. I'll see you for the next video, and much love.